I thought I'd make a video on ceremony. Now, I attend obviously medicine ceremonies, and then I would consider breath work to be along the lines as well. I I love holotropic breath work. I think it's just amazing. So anyone who ever kind of feels they have work or stuff to clear from, I don't know, addiction or depression or anxiety or any kind of inkling, holotropic breath work, get to a group. Don't do it on your own, do it in a group. And it's really is brilliant. But I treat these things as a ceremony, but I wanted to make a video just about every moment, as a potential ceremony. It's just something to be aware of, that, more and more I see that we're designing every moment, all of this. But that's what I'm working towards, every moment being ceremony. Now, in the spiritual world, we like to think that ceremony is when you go away and you do a retreat, or you go away for the day or the weekend and you give yourself that time. And there's certainly purpose to that, that we've set aside time to work on ourselves, or learn a new practice, or be around people who it's safe and facilitate that work. And, I made a video there recently about the call to warrior women, that I still feel that quite strongly, like that, be they women, because I tend to just be working with women, but obviously there's warrior men, but it's, our role is not to be at peace and emanating love and wonderful energy in the ashram. Our role is to do that, sweeping the roads and cleaning the toilets and picking up the kids and encountering whoever. It's to be present. If you were supposed to be born and spend your life in an ashram, your fucking higher self would have, you would have chosen to be born near an ashram. So it's okay to go to these places, but real liberation, real freedom is to be in the thick of it, and to be centered and at peace and in love, in power, whatever's going on. Whatever challenge is presented to each of us, we're all dealing with similar stuff, pretty much the same stuff. So there is, ceremony is available in every moment. In every moment. Every single moment. Not just the light, fluffy fucking moments. Okay, so every single moment. It's our ego that's just obsessed with getting to the light, fluffy stuff. And really, it's just the ego that's just afraid of the shadow. It's just afraid of relinquishing control. The ego is afraid that if it gives back some control, or loses some control, that we won't be ourselves, that I won't know who I am. Maybe I'll lose my sense of humor, or my sense of identity. I won't know my place in the world. Maybe I won't have any character or personality. Maybe I'll just be bland and boring. Now, the exact opposite of that is true, but you don't know that until you go through no man's land. Like, the ego obviously wants, I want a checklist. I want to be told what I'm going to gain on the other side of relinquishing control. Can you just show me those and tell me the dates and exact times that I will receive those? And then I'll consider going through the shadows, going through the darkness. But that's not the way it works. We got to get to a point where we've outgrown those stages or folders, those chapters of the ego. You can't just kind of go, or it's not my experience anyway, to just kind of go, I'm done with the ego, I'm moving on. There's gradually as time passes, we become aware of more of how it controls us and guides us. And often, as I, made the video about, my ego had attached to me being an energy healer, or working with women, and all these things. Now I realize it's just bollocks. It's a false identity. That's what I do, and I do it very well, and I'm proud of what I do, and I enjoy what I do. But it's not my identity, and I don't want that fucking label or any label kind of hung over me, because it's far too limiting. But the ego wanted it, because the ego kind of thought, ooh, that's a step up from who I really am. Whereas the spirit knows that's a step down. That's a box. Do you want to get into a box? And we're all moving to those boxes these days. We all want to be shaman and yoga teachers and all these things, and they're all just so restricting and limiting. It's just the ego trying to feel like if I could just feel like I'm fucking purposeful, if I could just feel like I'm worthwhile. Whereas if we find that worthwhile and that purpose and that peace within ourselves, we don't need any of that shite. So that ceremony, true freedom and consciousness, God consciousness, is in every single moment. And I've had my fair share of tough moments throughout this lifetime, and certainly over the last couple of years. Very challenging moments, and it's challenging in those times to find that stillness and centeredness. So right now, I'm not speaking to everyone who clicks on this video. I'm speaking to the people that this resonates with. We are seeking to be free. We are seeking to be liberated from that shadow, or from the fear, or from the need for fluffy spirituality and nice stuff. We're seeking freedom. So that ceremony, that presence in each moment is available. It's available to all of us, but many of us are not ready for that yet. We still want to exhaust the excitement and the fluffy and the coloured yoga mats and all the trinkets and all the stuff and all the labels. I want to be a shaman, I want to be a light worker, I want to be a starseed, I want to be all these things. It's all just bollocks. It's all labels. So when we can go beyond that, we can find the peace, freedom, power, liberation and ceremony in all of it. In the fucking traffic jams, all the stuff that I repeat. I don't want to repeat it, because you know what it is. Think of something in your lifetime, or a person in your life who really challenges you, or a moment you had recently or today. Now there's a scale for this. Let's say 10 out of 10 is when you're just out of your depth and this is like too much. And let's say 1 out of 10 is just a subtle. You barely notice it, but you are a little tiny bit triggered. The ceremony and all of that. And I often try to teach people to work through the 1 out of 10 and 2 out of 10 as much as possible. Because when the 9 and 10 out of 10 comes, then you have skills, you have tools, you've built a habit, you have a routine, and you know how to work with this 9 and 10 out of 10. But what can happen is when it's 1, 2, 3, people think, it's not too bad. I'll just ignore it. I'll get on with my day. I'll think positive. And then the 9, 10 out of 10 hits them, and they're underwater and they're struggling. But in those light 1, 2, 3s, with a bit of presence and observation, we can witness what's within ourselves, and we can witness a glimpse of who we are and what's possible here, what we're capable of. We can observe what this lesson might be, integrate that trigger, that pain, make peace with it. Not try and remove it or get rid of that person or any of that kind of stuff, but to work with it, integrate it, love it. That's what I teach people to do. That's what I do. And more I see that really, I want more of this, because I want more freedom. My life is changing, and I'm becoming more empowered and more at peace with my journey and with myself. So more and more I'm consciously becoming, I'm more able or more moved to consciously venture into the shadows and into the darkness, as opposed to being catapulted into it and going, oh Jesus, I have to work through this. But to set aside time and say, I'm going to choose to go in there and do some work. Like these moments are holy. They're not by chance. They're not bad or wrong or evil or any of that shite. Your higher self is presenting this person or this situation to you right now. That whatever that triggers you, for you to learn from it, for you to overcome it, for you to master it. I seek to be a master of these situations. To be a master of poverty, or of anger, or of rage, or any of that fear, to overcome it, to integrate it into my being, to love it, to make peace with it. Not to try and get away from it or medicate it or sedate it or fucking distract myself or any of that kind of stuff. Because if we're in this state, we're free. Whoever you encounter in your day to day, whatever your wife or husband or kids or anyone does, doesn't fucking matter. You're free of those triggers. Now, it doesn't happen overnight. It happens gradually in stages, but that's the beauty as well, is that we get to experience and relish that journey of, wow, I handle that situation differently. Wow, I feel a bit more empowered here. Wow, I see how this is working. And then the challenges can get higher. You know, it's like a challenge that previously would have really floored us. We can handle now. We can face that and we can work through it. And on the other side of it, we can see our growth, rather than trying to escape to the ashram or the yoga class or wherever. Like these, I'm not knocking these things. I think it's good to always know why we're going to these things, why we're doing this work. It's mad because, I mean, all the great sages, great minds who've been here talk about this. But yet modern spirituality is like, oh, I'll do like that when I come back from my my retreat with all the saintly people. Where it's going to be really easy and they make vegan food for me and fruit salad and I'll sit in the sun. Oh, I'm going to meditate in the sun. That's fucking easy. That's easy to be ceremonious in those situations. But I love it when people go on these things and they get fucked up. They go and all their shit comes up and they're fucking triggered by the teacher or the facilitator or the guru or someone they're sharing the room with. That's growth. That's your shadow and that's your higher self saying, not now, motherfucker. It's time to get free. Work through this. And fair balls, you know, some people can work through it. Some people run away and kind of think, no, it wasn't peaceful enough for me because there was someone who wasn't peaceful. But for those who feel it and those who are moved in that, I really think it's power. I'm fucking hungry for it. I want more of it. I want to be free. I want to be liberated. Untouched by other people, you know. I should say untouched by my reflection. You know, that other people show me my reflection and it triggers me. But the more I face it and make peace with it and integrate it and honour the people who've shown it to me, the freer I become. So, I mean, if you're broke or if you're retreated until 6 months or you can't afford to go to India, there is ceremony available in every moment. There's more and more growth available in the challenging moments. I think that practicing, you know, meditation or presence, self-observation in the easy moments is great because it builds that habit that we can then practice in the heavy moments. That's the reason we do it on the nights. That's the reason we go to these places. Learn these things. Take these tools away, and then when fucking do it in the nice times in the day-to-day, and then when chaos appears, we have those tools and that habit that we can integrate. So that's it. Don't know if that made any sense to anyone, but thanks for listening. I'm now on Instagram, and I'm enjoying Instagram. It's nice to have a nice picture and be able to write, you know, without having to write a long article, to write something short. My Instagram handle is spontaneous_evolution. I'm also in Insight Timer, and we now have a group that's now over 420 people or something. It's called Mindful Self-Talk, and really it's about shadow work. Insight Timer is free, and you can find me. I'm called Gav in Dublin on Insight Timer. So yeah, sign up to my newsletter and all that good stuff. And thanks for listening. Enjoy your day. Be well.